Shalom, Adelphos se Christos. Peace to my brothers in Christ. Well, a quick little announcement I want to make. At the beginning of the week, my mentor and the mentor of thousands, Dr. Chuck Missler, passed away at the age of 83. He will surely be missed, but his legacy will certainly continue on, such as what we're doing here. And I hope that you would take advantage of just the phenomenal biblical teaching that the Koinonia Institute has to offer. And I'll have that up on the screen. And again, if you want to access my notes and thoughts, please visit ampeloslogos.com. And always remember, Acts 17:11, be as the Bereans. Search these things out, see whether they be so. So with that, let's get started. Let's let God's word speak. Genesis 26. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the land. I just missed something. I'm sorry. Let me start over. Okay, verse 26. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gur. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of that place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister, for he feared to say, She is my wife, lest said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. Sins of the father passed down to the sins of the son. And as the Lord says in his words, the sins of the father are passed down to 4 generations. And as my family can attest to, it is the truth. But as within all things, the Lord is mightier than anything. And so you can break those curses by relying upon him and trusting in him. I'm a firm believer in this because I'm living it. And so take comfort in that, knowing that the Lord is above all. Okay, and and so Isaac's doing the same thing his father did. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out his window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with his wife. See, Abimelech, which of course you remember in the previous chapters with Abraham, and that sordid affair. So now he's on his toes, and he's keeping his eyes peeled for this kind of mischief. He's thinking, oh man, not again. So, and Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife, and how sayest thou, She is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, What is this that thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, that he that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in the land, and received in the same year 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great and went forth, and grew until he became very great. And he had possessions of flock, possessions of herds, and great store of servants. And the Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them, and filled them with earth. Because you got to remember, in this region that water is, it's precious as gold. It's hard to get. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of the waters, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servant digged in the valley and found there a well springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the well Isaac, because they strove with him. And they digged again another well, and strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence, and digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, For now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to Beersheba. And the Lord appeared unto him that same night, and said unto him, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And remember what the Lord's saying. He's saying, I am the God of Abraham. I'm not the God of the dead. I'm the God of the living. I'm the God of Abraham. So, all these New Age or atheists and whoever, like to say, well, there's nothing after, like when you die, you die. That's it. You're just worm food. Well, to the body, yeah, but not to the soul and not to the spirit. We go to our heavenly abode, just where Abraham is where we go. So we have a great hope to look forward to, a great future to look forward to and into by studying His Word. So it's a great blessing to dwell upon that. Because the Lord said in the book of Psalms, blessed in the sight of the Lord is the death of His saints. He holds that very precious, because that's us going home. Food for thought. Verse 25, and he built an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants digged a well. And Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Huzzah, I can't even pronounce, one of his friends, and Phicol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, Where come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink, and they rose up betimes in the morning, and swore one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bashma, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mind unto Isaac and Rebekah, because he married into the Gentiles, which is what the Lord didn't want. So it goes to show you how much respect Esau had for the God of Abraham. Chapter 27:1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said unto him, Behold, now I am old, and I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take some venison, and make me a savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord, before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good calves, 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth, and thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will fill me, and shall seem to me as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son, which were which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goat upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck, and she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee. Sit and eat my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may fill thee, my son. See, Isaac's filling her something awry here. Whether thou be my son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, and his brother's hands as his brother's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is the smell of the field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore God give thee of the dew of the heaven, and of the fatness of the earth, and the plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing, blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting, and he also made savory meat, and brought it to his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that my soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me, and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him? Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said unto him, Father, bless me, even me also, my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing with subtlety. That's the same as Jacob's name's true. Heel catcher. The Lord has a lot to work with him on, which is so many. But all the families in the Old Testament, this is the human race. We all deal with the same families, the same problems, the same issues. The Bible doesn't hide any of that. Not like what other books do. The Bible doesn't. Lays it out clear and concise and pure. So, if God can deal with somebody like Jacob, he can surely deal with you and me. And that's a great comfort. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, which Esau didn't care about. Remember, he basically sold his birthright for a bowl of soup. He didn't care about it. But But now he does. Um, let's see. Supplanted me 2 times, took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heaven above. Verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live. That's the truth, you see. They did. They were very, very, very violent tribe. And they were set against Israel when Israel was when Israel was in the Exodus, coming out of Egypt. Edom, which is Esau's tribal people, were totally against them. And I mean, it's sad, how that whole story plays out, which we will get to in the book of Exodus. But Isaac's prophesying it right here. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherein his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. Cain and Abel. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, and flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother's fury turn away, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forgot that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you, and of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these, which are the daughters of the land, what good shall life do unto me? Not a whole lot, will it? Just won't do a whole lot of good unto him. I'm just reviewing here real quick, and we did cover that. Okay. So, quick commentary. Okay. Did God accomplish his will through the deceptions within the family, or despite them? Were they necessary, or were they distractions? 27:1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here I am. This deception, number 1. How? Isaac thinks that he is going to pull the wool over God's eyes and place the blessing upon Esau, as though we think we can, think that we can place the blessing, which is not what we can do. And you got to remember what God told Isaac and Rebekah when they both were in the womb, that the Lord said, Thy youngest will rule over thy elder. So, but Isaac was trying to circumvent that. 27:4. And make savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee, and I die. And of course, as all sin does, once it starts growing, it becomes infectious. With Rebekah, it is as she thought, I don't think so. My beloved son Jacob will be the one to receive the blessing, and I can't believe God is allowing this to happen. Deception number 2. So, Rebekah took it into her own hands instead of letting God work it out. So there's Some food for thought for us, huh? Deception number 2, Genesis 27:5. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. Genesis 27:8. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. In other words, God, you're slacking. You're slacking. Moreover, Okay, no, I'm sorry. And in other words, God, you're slacking. Move over. I got this. And that's a bad move. That's what we all do so often in our walk. I've done it so many times. It's taken 25 years for me to learn that lesson. Just let go and let God do. It's a bad move. Deception number 3, Genesis 27:11. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau, my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feed me, and my peradventure will fill me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. I shall seem to him as a deceiver. I shall seem to him as a deceiver. Reality check. You are a deceiver. And guess what? We all are as well. It's called the human nature. That's who we are. We all are. Okay. Each time we try to justify our actions, we are deceiving ourselves. That's a fact. Deception number 4, Genesis 27:34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. Esau knew right well he did not deserve that blessing. All through his life, he cared nothing of his heritage, nor anything of God. In fact, he despised it. Genesis 25:31. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright be to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold him the birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up, and he went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Now what is the whole point of all this? Did God approve of all this deception? Certainly not. I am a firm believer that in anything that God lays out in his holy word is multifaceted and multidimensional. In this account that God allowed was to present us with a fact that God will see, or that God will use dysfunctional families, unsavory characters, and even bad attitudes to accomplish his good purpose. My doggy's barking. I gotta get him to stop. Get him. Sorry about that, but he's barking. Failures and turn them into his success. Does that imply that we should even try to be holy? On the contrary, this shows us that no matter the situation is, he's working behind the scene. We need not to be angry nor surprised when things seem to be going in the opposite direction, and it would behoove us as well to listen. God is asking to you, trust me. So that's the whole point. That's the life lesson of that whole sordid situation. But the Lord will take everything and turn it to his good. He's the Lord God. So with that, may God richly bless you. And until next session, Shalom. Adelphos Christos. Peace to my brothers in Christ.